What's up guys, Bluddshed here. Today we're going to talk about the Death Nova Necromancer build for Diablo 3 patch 265 and Season 17. Now we're going to cover the LON version and the Inarius version of the build. The bonus is you get the Inarius version for the Hadrig's gift this season, so you'll be able to start with the build right away. I'll include a starter Inarius version, and I'm going to do starter builds for every class, so eventually we'll have all this content for you. But the first main speed build you probably want to build into is what you see on screen here, the Death Nova Iron Rose version of the Inarius Necromancer. That's a mouthful, I guess. We need a clever name for it. Anyway, you just pour it around with Blood Rush, you hold down your generator, siphon blood, and it has a 100% chance now to proc Death Nova. It used to be 50, now it's 100. In addition, they buffed the Bloodtide blade, so the Novas hit harder than ever before. It's nice to have, it's refreshing to have a new way to play Necromancer. I was a big fan of the old school Inarius Lazymancer, but this is like the newer version of that. The Lazymancer isn't as strong for the current T16 that we're running, even though the Inarius set got buffed from 3,750 to 10,000 damage. So yes, the Inarius set is 10,000 damage now. It affects all your skills. The only problem is it doesn't buff the Bone Storm. You know, the twirling bone around your character, that is actually not getting buffed at all. Like the 6-piece bonus isn't affected. So you can see the problem where it does fall off. Now, if something happens and there's a patch, I will definitely put a note in the video somewhere or whatever. You want to use the classic Lazymancer, that'll be amazing if they allow the 6-piece to buff the Bone Storm. But as of right now, it doesn't work. The build's super easy to play. I went out of my way to make this super duper tanky. There's a lot of different ways you can build it, but this was my current favorite way. I really like chill builds, especially while key farming. So this is why, this is like an ode to the original Lazymancer build. Not much babysitting. You literally just blood rush around, pop bone armor to stun the mobs. I also have the golem with AoE freezes. So these are proccing your Crispins constantly. You have almost perma movement speed. We are stacking cooldown, but there's no high reliance on cooldown. You really don't need any. All right, the Inarius build. So the bone armor actually gives you more survivability with the 4-piece. Bone armor also activates that bone NATO we were talking about that does damage, which is pretty awesome. It works nicely with like pain enhancer. So you can see I opted for the tanky route. We're using dainties, which is getting procced by our frailty. I have Eternal Torment, so as we're running around, we're just constantly cursing everything, and then the curses basically last forever. So you always have your dainties active basically most of the time, right? I'm also using the Kalan to give me more stacks. It's gonna give me more survivability with bone armor, and then I get the bonuses also from the Inarius set. The Golem are gonna give us cooldown on our Golem and 30% damage reduction. More golem casts, more freezes. We're using the ice golem. So that's freezing, proccing our Crispins. We're also proccing our Crispins with bone armor, dislocation, stuns, and freezes just constantly. You can use like the blind faith. You can use frosties. These are like percentage based things. I opted for 100%. No percentage based. That way, whenever I do it, I know I'm doing that extra damage. It's up to you. Like I said, there's a lot of different combos you can use, and I encourage you to experiment, use your armories, and try to find something that works for you. We only have one pet out, so we're getting 90% of our standalone bonus, which is awesome. 90% armor is definitely worth. Since we're cursing everything, we're using Malediction. That really helps. Potency for the armor from Blood Rush. Now, your AoE is top notch, right? I'm also using Lornell's, just survivability everywhere, man. AoE, like I said, is absolutely top-notch AoE. We actually do more damage with more enemies around with the Bloodtide blade, but our problem is single target. So on the Rift Guardian, okay, you need to CC them and pop Simulacrum. Add that you get your clone from Simulacrum doesn't follow so well. So what I would do is I would jump on top of the Rift Guardian, stun him, proc Simulacrum, begin casting, start DPSing him, right? And then right after he comes out of crowd control, the first wave, then hit him with Command Golem. And then he's basically gonna be dead after that. If he runs away from you, it won't matter. You would have done enough damage to him. Now, if you're running speeds, you can use Powerful, but this really does really well against for bounty Rift Guardians and just in general. Any Rift Guardian, this is gonna help you crush it. Into double crit cooldown, like on the rings. It just makes everything seamless. We always have them up, and even using Gogok. Gogok's pretty much always up because we're holding down our generator, and then we jump to another pack, and then our generator is just Gogok's up all the time. This is a great, I like this playstyle. If I was maining Necro, like I said, I would run Inarius until I was ready for LON, right? And LON is basically the same play style, except for we have more toys to play with since we're not forced to carry the sets with us. You know, we can actually carry other stuff. Like now we have a Curus, so we're even tankier, and then we get to use Swamplands for the physical damage. And St. Archie's gives us a bubble when we start fighting an elite pack, right? When we want to go to town with homing pads, we get a shield. Like it's just even more easier to use. And we get to use this Stone of Jordan here in the build since I don't have to carry the Ring of Royal Grandeur. It opens up more opportunities for that. But the build's essentially the same. This was my favorite play style. I hope you guys really like the play style because I went out of my way, I guess, to make it as lazy and effective as possible. And we could actually see a buff here. I will have starter guides for the Necromancer and the Inarius set for every class before the season goes live. I'm waiting for them to announce the dates, but we have been working on it on stream every day, twitch.tv/bloodshed. Shout out to my patrons for making all these videos possible. Shout out to our latest patron, Audrey, I guess. You can find out all my builds on patreon.com/bloodshed. I use it like my website since Diablo fans went down, and I just post them all on there, and I'm gonna have more and more and more, and I'm finding ways to make it look even better. I haven't added that many builds recently because I'm looking at a way to add the videos to it so it's not too convoluted. I want to keep it easy to read, that way you guys can easily find everything and then click on it. So I'm trying to add the video links to it and the written guide, so I'm not forcing you to look at the video again to get the written guide, but you get it. Hope you enjoy the content, the videos. Season 17 is shaping up to be amazing. I'm super excited. Again, thanks for all the support. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.